My name is Rory, and you probably know that last year I graduated from undergrad, that I was the Vice President of Public Relations for Student Union, that currently I'm in my master's program at the engineering school. But you probably don't know that my mom passed away 4 years ago from a brain aneurysm, that most of my nuclear family suffers from some type of diagnosed mental illness, that my biggest fear in life is one day I'll wake up and I won't be able to think for myself. 4 years ago when my mom passed away, I think the biggest thing that I faced was the expectation that I had to take care of everyone else. That people came to me and asked me, how was I going to take care of my brothers? How was I going to help create a role model for women when we didn't have one in our own family? How was I going to make sure they developed both emotionally, psychologically? How was I going to make sure that we were all going to become great humans in this society? And beyond that, I had to think about the financial problems. I had to think about how was I going to afford paying for WashU. I just committed to WashU for undergrad a few weeks before, and because we were in the highest tax bracket, I had to pay full price for WashU when we no longer had 2/3 of our family income. Those are questions that I didn't feel like it was fair to ask a 17-year-old, but I had to answer them anyway. When it came to WashU, I really wanted to make a difference in my communities, so I joined Student Union. But I think that fear of having to answer questions that I wasn't ready for just became exponentially greater. I had to start thinking about not just for myself and my own family, but also how are my actions going to affect other people and their livelihoods for their 4 years. And for me, the reason why that was scary is because having seen my family and having a long history of mental problems, how was I supposed to know that I could give them real sane advice? Because for me, having to watch my family suffer through those illnesses, the biggest thing that I learned was that they couldn't tell that they were losing their mind. They couldn't feel their sanity being slipping away. They didn't know that their logic didn't make sense anymore. So for me, how am I supposed to know that that wasn't happening to me at the very moment? But I think over my past 4 years, the biggest thing that I recognized was that I couldn't control that my family had a long history of mental illness. I couldn't control that I was potentially going to get one myself. All I could really do was when I met someone who thought differently than me or said something that I thought was completely crazy, that I gave them the same patience that I wish people would give me if I ever lost my mind. That fear of potentially getting a mental illness is something that I can't face head on. I can't jump off a cliff or face a spider or do something else where I could directly face that fear. It's something that may or may not happen. And I think that's a fear that I'm going to have to keep for the rest of my life.